Benny the bear lived in a cozy cave in the heart of the forest. Every morning, when the sun peeked through the trees, Benny would stretch his big furry paws and let out a loud yawn. But there was something that made Benny's day even better than a good stretch. Can you guess what it was?
Honey.
Benny loved honey more than anything. It was sweet, sticky, and oh so delicious. Benny's tummy rumbled every time he thought about it, and he could smell it from miles away. One sunny morning, Benny woke up with a growl in his tummy. He sniffed the air and grinned.
I smell honey.
He said, his nose twitching with excitement. He sniffed again.
It's coming from the meadow.
Without wasting a second, Benny licked his lips and set off toward the meadow, waddling through the forest with his big paws thumping on the ground. The scent of honey grew stronger with each step. Benny's tummy growled louder.
I can almost taste it,
he thought, picking up the pace. As Benny reached the meadow, his eyes grew wide with delight. There, hanging from a tall tree, was a golden honeycomb full of the sweetest honey he had ever seen. It glistened in the sunlight like a treasure, but when Benny tried to reach up and grab it, he realized the honeycomb was much too high. Benny stretched on his tiptoes, but it was still out of reach.
Oh no, how am I going to get my honey?
Benny sat down in the grass, scratching his head. He thought for a moment. Then a light bulb went off in his head.
I know, I need a ladder. But I don't have a ladder.
So Benny decided to build one.
I'll head to the nearby river and gather some big rocks.
With his strong paws, Benny dashed to the river and started gathering big rocks one by one.
These rocks should do the trick.
He stacked them carefully, making a tall, wobbly tower.
This will work. Wow, look at my rocky creation.
Benny stood back proudly, admiring his handiwork, ready to continue his adventure.
Benny climbed up the rocks, his heart pounding with excitement. He was almost there, just a little higher. But, uh-oh, one of the rocks wobbled and then, plop! The tower of rocks tumbled to the ground, and Benny rolled down with a big thud. Ouch! Benny said, shaking the dust from his fur. He looked at the broken rocks and sighed. Maybe I need a new plan. Benny thought for a moment, then his eyes brightened. What if I use a stick? He spotted a long branch nearby and grabbed it with his paws. He stretched the stick as far as he could, trying to reach the honeycomb. But it was still too far. Benny frowned for a moment, then smiled. I'm not giving up. I know there's a way. Benny took a deep breath and tried something different. He walked over to a nearby hill and rolled a big round rock up to the base of the tree. I think this will help, Benny said, puffing and panting. He climbed up the rock and, yes, the honeycomb was now just the right height. With a little wiggle of his paw, Benny reached up and carefully pulled the honeycomb down. It was just perfect, dripping with the sweetest honey Benny had ever tasted. Honey, Benny sighed with delight. He sat under the tree, licking the honey from the comb, feeling the warm sun on his fur. He smiled a big bear smile. Best honey ever.
Just then, Benny heard a rustle in the bushes. Out popped his best friend, Luna the squirrel, with her fluffy tail twitching.
Benny, what's that you've got there? She asked, her eyes sparkling with curiosity.
This, Benny said, holding up the honeycomb, is the best honey in the whole forest. Would you like to share it with me?
Luna's eyes grew wide. Oh, Benny, I've never tasted anything so sweet.
And so the two friends sat together in the sunshine, sharing the honey, laughing, and talking about all the fun things they would do next. And from that day on, Benny knew that whenever he wanted honey, he could always find a way to get it. Because when you work hard and don't give up, sweet things come your way.